Hiya, and welcome to an episode of the Unseen Strands podcast, a crochet and fiber arts related podcast where I, your host Mo, am visually impaired and will be sharing with you strands of my life. Now, this is only going to be a mini episode, and basically all I'm going to do is chat with you for a while because, guys, we're already in February, and I haven't posted an actual episode yet this year, and I really wanted to meet with you face to face and get, kind of the plans for the year and things wrapped up before heading on. I mean, this Friday is the Sticks and Strings retreat, and so, yeah, that's quickly approaching, and I was not a very good crafter this week, so I don't really have a good weekly whip for you. The funniest thing I have to share, and I haven't even looked at the video I took, so I'm not sure if it's any good, but I like to call, oh, and we're going to be out of order, because like I said, oh no, I don't know where I put it. Oh, they're there. Okay, not in front of me, to the side of me. All I have going right now for socks is this pair, and I started these on Groundhog's Day. I started these on Groundhog's Day, and I didn't realize it till after I started it, and then I thought it was hilarious because if you know, the Groundhog's Day movie is where the day repeats over and over again, and this pair of socks I feel like I'm doing over and over again, because if you don't notice that this is the same skein of yarn from my Skull Crusher Mountain socks that were a Christmas present for a friend of ours, and my husband was so jealous of how they came out I had to start doing it again. But this is just the remnants, and I think it's 37 or 38 grams. So I don't have enough to make him a pair of socks. His socks are approximately 80 grams, so we're going to end up quite short, about 50 grams short. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the ribbing in this Skull Crusher Mountain, and then when we get to the leg, I do the 52 rounds of the ribbing, and then the leg is 42, so I'll do that, and we're thinking in Boomstick, which is another Rebel Pearl yarn. This is a Rebel Pearl yarn. It's her 4 Plies of the Apocalypse, and the other color is Boomstick, and that is also a 4 Plies of the Apocalypse. Yeah, that's what I have going on, so that's about the only whip. The other whip I have that I worked on is no longer a whip. It's a finished object, and I can't share it with you because it's a test knit, and yes, maybe I need to give you my final notes. I realize that there's not really anything special. There's some things that I would prefer, but I think there are things you would have to change with every pattern, so I understand that's probably not, it's just my personal preference, and that doesn't mean a whole lot. But yeah, so that is all I have for weekly whip update. I finished my husband's birthday socks, and today is his birthday, so we got that accomplished. If you see anything behind my head, Sona is behind me on the couch, because I went back to my setup here because I could do this really fast, and I can't do my other setup really fast anymore. And then, guys, a reason I haven't gotten a lot of crafting done is, as you know, I've been kind of in a slump for a while now. Technically, it's gone back till probably September, so you can't call it the winter blues. And it doesn't have anything to do with, like, the amount of sunlight. It's more the lack of appreciation, if that's the thing. And I guess the lack of support, because I don't want to say I don't get support, because I do get a lot of support from my family, mostly my husband, but it's not the right or enough support, and I've really been struggling with that lately. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't feel as if my parenting is good enough, and since I'm the only one here all day, and I need breaks because I need interactions outside 2 3-year-olds, and I'm not getting that. And so, as you know, I guess it would have been October technically, because it was the end of September that I had made that declaration that I was trying the back to work effort, even though it's not really back to work because I have never actually worked. We're gonna get cut off here pretty quick with a potty timer. But yeah, that hasn't been going like anywhere, and then I'm constantly getting let down by the Iowa department. Finally, I have a stupid vision appointment to declare that I am still blind on Friday, which is also when Sticks and Strings retreat is, and hopefully by then I'll have some progress going in that form. And I was also doing the Project Iowa thing, and that I don't really know what happened, but I've kind of lost contact with my contact, and I'm just not in a place right now to really fight with that until I get some of this other stuff straightened out with the department. So I've just kind of let it go. Yes, totally my own fault, but I'm just not in the right headspace to deal with it. Basically because they can't help me because they don't have any resources to help me. And the place that's supposed to give me the resources isn't being helpful. So I'm just like up a creek. I want out. I want to be active in my community, but I have no physical way to be active in my community, and it's just left me very frustrated and feeling isolated and unappreciated. And then, you know, children don't do what you want, and I've been fighting this potty training thing since the end of the school year last year. So yeah, it's nearly been a year that I've been trying to potty train. Sorry about Sona. And finally, we have Leo starting to show progress in some direction, but Zane is regressing again. And that really has me feeling very upset. I guess it would be the easiest way to put it. Okay, I was wrong. I got 3 minutes. So let's see if I can finish this in that time. So, plans for this year is I'm going to try and refocus on my charity. I mean, I'm still focusing on socks, like I said before. Well, I guess if you watch the weekly whips, this is like my focus for the year is to make socks to clothe my family. This will be the second pair of socks for my husband this year. I'm also working on a pair of socks for Jeremy at the moment that I need to get back to working on seriously, but I need him to try them on again, and so I've been kind of putting it on the back burner. But that's my main focus for family crafting. And then my other crafting purpose, or focus this year, I brought this over just so I can, it doesn't have any of the project stuff in it currently, except for my needles, because I got these DPNs on a closeout thing at one of the LYS's during the shop hop. But this bag is going to be my Preemie Hats bag. And we have a program in Iowa called the Preemie Project. Jeez, I could not think. My brain just completely went out. They do have a Ravelry group, which is where, I mean, I've been on their email list for a while, and I've been part of the group, but I've never participated in the group before. And so I finally went over and have declared that I am going to help out with that project this year, and it basically helps the NICUs in the state of Iowa. Mainly, I believe it's the Iowa City Hospital, but they're trying to branch out when they have enough donations to also help out other places, and I'm probably running low on time here, so I'm gonna cut. Okay, we're back for about another 10 minutes. So yeah, my focus is gonna be on this Preemie project thing, and there are two campaigns that are their big campaigns for the year is Red, White, and Blue for the NICU, and the Cyhawk challenge. I don't remember what they called it, but that is our statewide, local-ish, two universities competition, you know, the football game against Iowa State and University of Iowa. So The red, white, and blue obviously is red, white, and blue. Hats, booties, and I think this year they're doing some sewn things too, but of course I can't do the sewn things. And so, yeah, there's that one. That each thing they're looking for approximately 300 sets of hats and booties. So there's the red, white, and blue, and then there is the Cyhawk one, which is the University of Iowa is gold and yellow, or gold and black, or yellow and black, and then the Iowa State is like a cardinal red and yellow. And so yeah, that is going to be, I think my focuses for my donation stuff this year is just going to be kind of helping out that particular organization. It is a nonprofit, and trying to help them get the numbers that they want. Being the preemie items is why I pulled out those DPNs. I've never used them, but I'm glad that I got them now, because the preemie stuff is of course tiny. So since I don't have 9-inch circulars in those tiny sizes, it's going to be really difficult to make that stuff without the DPNs, and so it'll be a learning experience for me. I don't know. We'll have to see how booties go, because that's also going to be interesting to do on DPNs. I'd probably much rather do that on a 9-inch circular, which I do have the bigger sizes on that new set, interchangeable set that I got. But I mean, bigger sizes in sock needles, so that's like, what, a 2? Maybe a 3mm, probably not even. But yeah, so that is Sona. You're really bugging me, Han. Apparently I need to clean her ears. She's been shaking her head a lot. So yeah, that is the goals for this year. Is going to be socks to use up some of that sock yarn that I purchased, and the acrylic yarns for the red, white, and blue, and the Cyhawk things. Also, they want to do Boo in the NICU, so again, I would assume they want about 300 sets of things. They were trying to look at doing like bib costumes for them, because kind of like a blanket, but more bib style, so that all the tubing and stuff isn't interfered. So KB, Karen, if you want to design some of that stuff, it sounds like that's kind of a wanted direction that the NICUs are looking for that's not really being served with patterns, I don't believe. But I think they'll still do hats and booties, as well as the bibs and things that they're looking to start a Boo in the NICU. Apparently they haven't done well with Easter stuff. They haven't gotten enough to do good donations, so they aren't doing one this year, so we'll see if next year. But the other thing that this particular organization does is bereavement items, and so that is where my call to you is. I'm trying to raise about $40 so that I can purchase some Knit Picks yarn. I went on We Crochet, which I found out from Katrina's Creations, that's Knit Picks like sister site, that they're, it looks like they're starting it up and they're not really experienced with focusing on the crochet side of things. So they only have on that particular site, sorry for my screen reader, on that particular site it's only $35 for the free shipping. And so that's where I'm going with that $400 mark, because the bereavement blankets currently, right now what they're looking for is 30 by 30 blankets, and they want them to be, they say white, but I'm sure a neutral would be good. The only Brava that was left, because they're sold out of the white currently, is cream, which I think would be okay. And they want like light blues and light pinks, which it looked like they had a couple pink colors still. And they had colors that were kind of on that tealish blue spectrum, and so I was looking to get about 18 skeins, so about 6 of each of those colors. Well, about, I think there was 2 blue colors, so 6 total skeins in blues and 6 total skeins in pinks, and then that cream, and they just want them one solid color, which the problem with that is it has to be a sport or DK weight yarn. And it has to be like an acrylic or cotton yarn. So it's just very difficult to find that in an affordable fashion in your mainstream places. So right now the Brava Sport is $1.99, and like I said on the We Crochet website, it was free shipping with orders over $1.35 or $35. Sorry, that's my screen reader speak, putting my dollar signs in the wrong places. So yeah, that is the focus of that $40, is to buy that yarn so that I can make bereavement blankets. And like I said, they're looking for the 30 by 30 size if anyone else is interested in helping out. And the preemie hats go from 1.5 pounds, I think is what they said. I don't have any clue what the booty size for that would be, other than incredibly tiny, and up to like 11 pounds, because not all the babies in NICU are necessarily preemies, and some preemies can still weigh a lot for different reasons. So yeah, they have quite the range of sizes that they need, because what was it? I've seen explanations of the sizes on a large egg to, you know, the size of a newborn. I think 8.5 maybe was one of the sizes I saw centimeter up, to, you know, your standard 13-inch. It might have even been smaller than that. I'll have to double check. So that's kind of the focus that I'm going into for this year in those charity donations. I also will be continuing my pet mats for, I'm going to Furry Friends on this Friday. Since my husband has the day off, I'm going to try and get some of my donation items out of the house. So my focus will be going to Furry Friends on Friday, and I have 4 or 5. I think it's, because I donated 1 last year. I can't remember if I made 4 after that or 3 after that. So I'm going to donate 4 or 5 of the pet mats there, and that's just going to be using up the acrylics that I can't use in these other projects, because now I found out that I can't use multicolored yarns unless they're like a patterny costume or something for the particular programs they're doing, because apparently at least the hospitals here in this state get a lot of the plain hats and aren't really looking for those. They really want these costume special occasion hats that they're not receiving, because it just kind of helps lift the spirits of everyone in those stressful situations. I remembered I didn't tell you how to donate to me. If you are interested in supporting the project for the bereavement blankets for me to get the Brava Sport yarn, because like I said, I need solid colors and in those nice, that color palette. I have a Ko-Fi page, which is down below. It says you buy a coffee. What that coffee is with a $3 donation. It says it goes to like buying a cup of coffee for your favorite creative, but all it does is put $3 into my PayPal, and they do not take fees, which is the difference between Patreon and Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi is not fee-based, because they have a subscription for the sellers that you can make customizations to your campaign page, and that's where they make their money, whereas Patreon takes a cut of your donations, and that's where they get their money, or at least that's my understanding. I am trying to revamp my Patreon page, because apparently it never went live, or if it, because I thought it was live, honestly, but apparently it never did go live, because it's not in the records, or it went into private for some odd reason. So I'm trying to revamp that, but I haven't gotten back to it yet, and again, that's going to be like a $2 donation. But the reason I don't like the Patreon platform is it's not a one-time donation, and the Ko-Fi is a one-time donation. You can buy as many coffees as you want. I think if it's over the $3, you might be able to customize the amount that you donate. It's just a limit of that $3. Yeah, that's the main reason I go over Ko-Fi versus Patreon, because Patreon, I don't really have extra content for you because I don't have the time, guys. I just honestly do not have the time to produce you more content than what you're already getting. Another thing I needed to mention to you guys is if you watched one of, I believe it's the last Vlogmas, date-wise, it is not the last one I uploaded, but it said Out with FiberKind and In It with Fiberocity, and FiberKind got new ownership. I have mentioned this in the weekly whips or the financial Fridays. I don't remember which one it's in, but it's in one of my threads. It might have even been in our monthly mail day. I don't remember. But yeah, FiberKind got new ownership, so they are back, and so we have keeping, or I guess I can say we're moving back over, because I did create the Fiberocity group, but technically I can be found in both places, technically all three places, because I still am on Ravelry, FiberKind, Fiberocity, and I really haven't ever gone back to Open Ravel. Just for reference, I'll probably be making a new thread for the Preemie project thing if anyone else is interested, just where you can find the information and so forth, just to have a new thread for there. I was kind of interested if anyone else would be interested in doing a make-along this year, and since it is year of 2020, I haven't came out with a super good name for it, but I wanted to kind of make it the blindly going 2020 thread, or I don't know, something about doing a project by touch, basically, instead of focusing on your vision. So it could either be a project in black yarn or a project in that you actually felt your way through. I know that's really hard to gauge, and it's just kind of a fun thing because, of course, everything I do is blindly done. And, you know, since it is 2020, perfect vision numbers, I just thought it would be funny to twist that and do the blind 2020 cal. Just because that just sounds really funny, or I guess mal, anything. But yeah, that was an idea I had, just throwing it out there, seeing if anyone else would like to participate in it, since we did not have interest in the Inspire Along this year. Surprise! I remembered something. So not only do I have the eye appointment coming up, but I finally went back to the dentist, and they referred me to an ear, nose, throat doctor because apparently I have fluid where there should be air pockets, and I think that is going to result in surgery, probably, I would imagine, sometime this year. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that because I just went to the ENT doctor back on Monday, and he basically wanted to put me on, he said, a steroid nasal spray, and then I found out that that nasal spray is the equivalent of Flonase. So the insurance won't actually cover it, or won't let me get it, which is interesting in and of itself. But I've used Flonase before. I didn't realize Flonase had a steroid. I don't understand what Google said about it. But I've used it before and it made absolutely no difference. And so the result that he's hoping for, I'm not thinking is going to be something that happens. So that's where we're thinking that's probably going to result in some kind of nasal surgery, and I don't have any clue into how that happens or works or whatnot, except for I have polyps in my nose, and he was hoping with this nasal spray that the steroid will help reduce them, and so that things will go back to normal. But there's the buying timer, stop! They've been going on for at least 3 years now, and I've been on all sorts of steroids. I've done the nasal mist thing and the Flonase thing, and nothing's ever done anything except for they keep telling me they think I have asthma, but they can't diagnose me with asthma because I don't have symptoms bad enough when I went to the breathing treatment observation thing like 2 years ago. So even though everyone else that's ever around me can tell there's definitely something wrong with me, it's never bad enough in the places that matter. But it was nice to go to the dentist and have them say, oh yeah, there's definitely physically something wrong here, because there's things showing up on this x-ray that should not happen. So that's kind of another place where I'm just kind of up in the air now and don't really know where things are gonna, how things are gonna turn out and so forth, and I need to go get Zane to the potty. So we'll cut back to 10 minutes ago me. Would like to support me, again, information is in the description box on my Ko-Fi link. I do not have a Patreon, but the Ko-Fi does link to my PayPal, so I don't need to give you a PayPal email because it's in my Ko-Fi. But if you have any questions, you can always email me. I think that is also in the description box because I just have a little blurb paragraph that I just copy-paste. Please join us over on FiberKind. That is the place I like to be, even though I still have my project pages and things over on Ravelry. As FiberKind grows and develops their site, I hope to move things from Ravelry to FiberKind, but right now they just don't have that ability and setup yet for me to get all that I need, like for yarn calculations and things in an easy to find format. So someday, hopefully, we will be back over there. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this mini podcast, I hope you hook the like button and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys.